As you may be able to see, I'm outside today in my tiny garden. A long time ago, when I was in my early 30s with young children, we had half an acre with a large vegetable plot, a fruit cage, and plenty of trees, including plum and damsons. I think we had an apple tree as well. It was also a children's paradise with swing, and if my memory is correct, and I don't actually trust it that much, we had a sort of tree house and possibly a sandpit. We had a view of the Welsh hills and were surrounded by fields which the children used to walk over to get to school whenever the weather allowed them. The alternative was a car journey down a very narrow lane with passing places, which you always went along with your heart in your mouth. It was actually quite hard work. As the years went by, my responsibility at work increased at the same time as my energy diminished. But thankfully, so the size of my garden decreased through various house moves until we now have this postage stamp. Still a lot to do in it because of my old age. It's hardly a garden I should open to the public, but I'm going to show you a few photographs of some of the things growing in it. In case you're wondering, this has a purpose that I hope will make sense to you later on. In the half-acre garden, I grew everything you could think of. We even had marrows, which used to trail along the ground and then sometimes hung over the hedge in the lane and were snaffled up by passers-by. The children collected the damsons and sold them at the gate to enhance their pocket money. I made jam, and wine bubbled away in one of our sheds. The large garden was very productive. However, I hope you have seen that our little garden here is also fairly productive for its size. In the biblical story of the feeding of the 5,000, all there was to offer was a young boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish. That was hardly enough to feed 2 or 3 hungry people, yet in Jesus' hands it fed 5,000 with plenty left over.
Master, send the people away, so that then they can go to the villages and farms around here and find food and lodging. This is a lonely place.
You yourselves give them something to eat.
But all we have are 5 loaves and 2 fish.
Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who bringeth forth bread from the earth.
We might be tempted to think that we have only a little talent and nothing much to give, and that there are others who have much more to offer than we have. I wonder if you have ever heard and had it pointed out to you that anyone who thinks that something small can have no influence has never been in bed with the mosquito. Our garden is small, but it has potential. So the first lesson from our little garden is that any talent we have, no matter how small it appears to us, has potential and can be used by Jesus to be productive. It may not be huge in our estimation, but he will make the best use of it when it is given into his hands. Whatever we give to him, he multiplies. Perhaps to sum this up, we can take note of some words that came from Mother Teresa. She said, "We cannot all do great things, but we can do small things with great love." We may agree that what she may have seen as a small thing in her life had a huge impact on those she ministered to with such love. The sun's beginning to get into my eyes, but I shall plough on. The second lesson arises from the fact that during this enforced lockdown, we have had more time. I have had time to sow seeds, pot them on, and tend to them, harden them off before planting out, then feeding and watering. I've had time this year to nurture the plants into maturity, and will have to keep an eye on them with more watering and feeding. I wonder how much time we give to our own spiritual growth, from the small seed of faith into maturity. Of course, it doesn't stop there, as we will still keep growing if we nourish our faith. Well, I am the gardener in our family. I once read a book that was entitled "My Father is the Gardener," referring to the Heavenly Father, and it was by Colin Urquhart. Plants in my garden respond for good or bad, and how they respond depends largely on me. They have little choice in the matter. And like me, our Heavenly Father is the perfect gardener, and unlike the plants, we have a choice as to whether or not we choose to respond to his tender care. We can choose to surrender our talents to him for him to put to good use. And we can choose to surrender our lives to him as he tends us and nurtures us into maturity.
And all to Jesus I surrender, all to him I freely give. I will ever love and trust him in his presence daily. And I surrender all. I surrender all to thee, my blessed Savior. I surrender this all to Jesus. I surrender. Make me Savior, wholly thine. Let me feel the Holy Spirit. Truly know that thou art mine. I surrender all. I surrender. I surrender all to thee, my blessed Savior. I surrender all to Jesus. I surrender.